Hey y'all, and welcome to Compassion is the Secret Ingredient. Today I'm going to be making for you my cheesy tofu scramble. Now I have a tofu scramble recipe that is just tried and true. It lives on my blog and it has with it a whole bunch of tips for making a really good tofu scramble. But in the last year or so, I have played around with boiling the tofu and adding cheese, and it just becomes this really soft, ooey gooey, cheesy deliciousness. First things first, you need to make sure that you have drained and pressed out your tofu. The reason why we drain and press tofu is because we want it to soak up all the flavor that we are giving it. We want it to be flavorful. We want it to really not just be this plain, boring, bland old tofu. That's what gives tofu a bad name. I had a really good tofu press and then I lost it when I moved, but I will link it below. I need to buy another one and I just haven't until then. And if you don't have one, that's okay. You can just use this method of laying out some paper towels or a kitchen towel, putting down your tofu, putting down another layer of the kitchen towel or paper towels, and then just pressing to get as much of that fluid out of the tofu as possible. Okay, so I have a pan back here and I have it on high heat and I'm just crumbling in my tofu. And I'm going to go ahead and add in, excuse the tofu fingers, my vegetable broth. My cheesy tofu scramble has already started to bubble away back here, and that's exactly what we want. We want it to boil essentially our tofu to help keep it in that softer state, not really let it brown at all for this particular recipe. I'm going to add in my spices now while my tofu scramble has started to boil. It is salt, pepper, garlic, onion, paprika, and a little bit of turmeric to help give this that beautiful cheesy color. I'm also adding in some nutritional yeast, and I'm going to tell you, measure this with your heart. You want about a tablespoon. If you are not the biggest fan of nooch, then use exactly a tablespoon. If you are a really big fan of nooch, you can easily make that a heaping tablespoon. Now I'm just giving this a stir. Okay, we're going to let this boil now for about 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. It's been 10 minutes and most of the liquid has evaporated. There's a little bit left in there. Definitely not enough for that saucing that we want to occur. So we are going to add a little bit more right now when we add in our cheese. I'm using BioLife Just Like Cheddar shreds. I went ahead and I turned the heat down to low, and I'm going to add in just a little bit more vegetable broth here. This is what's going to help to create our cheese sauce. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in my cheese. So I've just left this over that low heat for a couple minutes to make sure that that vegan cheese has melted down in there and it's created that sauciness that we were looking for. Okay, I am so excited to try this. I'm going to go ahead and give it a taste. You don't even have to chew it. Just absolutely delectable. It has that wonderful cheesy flavor. It's not overwhelmingly cheesy. It's like the perfect right amount of cheese. I am going to go ahead and try a little on some toast because this is how I would normally be eating it. I would take a big old blob of it, put it up on that toast, and then take a nice big bite. I hope you've enjoyed watching me make my cheesy tofu scramble. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember that cooking with compassion can taste pretty damn good, pretty damn cheesy.